welcome back to Nomads Unbound, your podcast for smart global travelers. In today's episode, we're exploring the top 10 destinations for digital nomads in 2024. From the sun-soaked beaches of Bali to the historic streets of Edinburgh, we'll guide you through the best places to set up your mobile office. Our hosts will dive into everything you need to know about these nomad hotspots. Whether you're a seasoned digital nomad or just dreaming of taking your work on the road, this episode is packed with practical tips and inspiration to fuel your next adventure. So grab your laptop, put on those headphones, and get ready to explore the world with Nomads Unbound.
All right, so are you ready to dive into these awesome digital nomad destinations for 2024?
Absolutely. We're talking about spots with Wi-Fi that's actually usable,
And let's not forget those digital nomad visas.
which are becoming more and more common.
But also like the cost of living and just the vibe.
Yeah, figuring out if it's the right fit for you.
Exactly. So by the end of this deep dive,
You'll practically be able to taste the paella in
oh,
Valencia
paella.
or feel that warm Bali breeze.
Okay, now I'm daydreaming.
But it's not just about the daydreams.
We're going to dig into the nitty-gritty, like visa rules and the real cost of living.
The stuff that really matters when you're planning to actually work from these places.
Because we're not just here to tell you Bali is beautiful or that Dubai has skyscrapers.
We want to uncover why some destinations are attracting certain kinds of remote workers.
And help you figure out which one might be your perfect match.
Exactly. Think of it like a dating app, but for locations.
I love it. Okay, let's kick things off with a category I think we can all get behind: luxury escapes.
Oh, yes, let's treat ourselves.
First up, we're teleporting to Dubai.
A city that screams luxury and ambition.
Right. Gleaming skyscrapers, that futuristic skyline, it's like something out of a movie.
And Dubai is really leading the way with their remote work visa.
Oh yeah. Tell me more.
It's not just a tourist visa with a fancy name. It's specifically designed for professionals.
So you can actually set up shop there.
Exactly. And there are tax benefits. A pretty easy renewal process.
It sounds like they've really thought this through.
They have. They want to attract the best and brightest remote workers.
So it's not just about snapping selfies in front of the Burj Khalifa.
Although I'm sure you'll do that too.
It's about having the infrastructure to support your global domination plans.
Precisely.
World domination costs money, though, right?
It does. And Dubai is known for its luxury lifestyle. Think five-star
Okay.
everything.
So maybe not the best place if you're living off ramen noodles and hoping to strike it rich online.
Probably not. But if you're ready to enjoy the fruits of your remote work success,
And you want to do it in style.
exactly, then Dubai might be calling your name.
All right, so Dubai is all about that work hard, play harder lifestyle.
Definitely.
But let's say you're craving luxury with a side of island vibes.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
For that, we're heading over to Bermuda.
Ah, Bermuda. Pink sand beaches, crystal clear turquoise water, rum swizzles.
It's making me want to book a flight right now.
Right. Talk about an office with a view.
Seriously. But besides the obvious beauty, Bermuda also has a few surprises up its sleeve.
Oh, like what?
Well, they have this whole residency program that's causing a stir in the digital nomad world.
And it's only $263.
Wait, what? That's less than I spend on coffee in a month.
Right. And that $263 actually covers your health insurance for the year.
Okay, there has to be a catch. What's the fine print?
Well, these residency programs are popping up everywhere.
I have heard about that, but I've never really looked into them.
They're definitely worth researching if you're serious about planting roots as a digital nomad.
Even if it's just temporary routes.
Exactly. They show commitment and often come with perks, like access to local services.
Okay, so Bermuda is a mix of luxury living and surprisingly practical options.
You got it. Just be sure to do your research on the specific residency requirements because they can vary.
Good point. Always a good idea to read the fine print, even when paradise is involved.
Absolutely.
Speaking of paradise, let's say your budget is a little more backpacking and a little less private jet. Our next category is all about island paradise. But don't grab your coconut cocktails just yet.
We're not talking about your typical tourist traps here.
These islands are upping their game for digital nomads.
Reliable infrastructure, cool co-working spots.
And that perfect blend of work and play.
Which is what makes this lifestyle so great, right?
Exactly. So first up, let's jet off to Barbados.
Ah, Barbados.
Think pink sand beaches, turquoise water.
It's the classic Caribbean paradise.
We've all seen the pictures, but what makes it special for remote workers?
Well, For one, it's not just about working from paradise. It's about really experiencing it.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
Barbados gets the whole workation thing.
So it's not just about having wifey and calling it a day.
Exactly. Imagine finishing up some work at a beachfront co-working space.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
And then heading straight out to catch some waves or explore a hidden cove.
Instead of just seeing the sights on the weekend, you're living them every day.
Exactly. Plus, Barbados has this amazing culinary scene.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
Fresh seafood, spicy jerk chicken, incredible tropical fruits.
Okay, now I'm starving.
It's not just a feast for the eyes, it's a feast for the stomach, too.
All right, now I'm really daydreaming about working from a beachside cafe with a plate of flying fish and a rum punch in hand.
Now that's the life.
Speaking of which, isn't Barbados a bit of a celebrity hotspot?
It is. Don't be surprised if you bump into a famous face or two.
Imagine being at a cafe working on your laptop and Rihanna walks by.
You'd probably spill your coffee everywhere.
I know, right? So we've got gorgeous beaches, fantastic food, maybe even a chance to rub shoulders with the stars?
Sounds pretty good so far, right?
It does, but is there a catch?
Well, paradise usually comes with a price tag, and Barbados is no exception.
So it's not exactly a budget destination.
It can be pricier than some other Caribbean islands, but the quality of life is hard to beat.
That's true. It's all about weighing your priorities. Now, from one island paradise to another, we can't forget about Bali.
Bali, the OG digital nomad haven.
It's been popular for years, and for good reason.
Bali's like that friend who knows how to have a good time without spending a fortune.
And the cost of living is super affordable, especially for all that you get.
Right. I mean, you've got those lush rice paddies.
Ancient temples, those Instagram-worthy swings over the jumble.
It's like stepping into a postcard, but with better wifey.
And you can't beat that energy, right? It's like a haven for all things wellness and self-discovery.
Absolutely. Yoga retreats, meditation centers.
It's a perfect place to recharge your batteries, both literally and figuratively.
I love that.
Okay, Bali sounds pretty close to perfect. Are there any downsides? Besides the risk of never wanting to come home, of course.
Well, the one thing to keep in mind is the monsoon season.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
It usually runs from November to April.
So not ideal if you hate rain.
Not really. You can expect heavy downpours and a lot of humidity.
But hey, even a rainy day in Bali is probably gorgeous.
True. It's all about going with the flow.
I like that philosophy. Okay, so we've had our dose of island life for now.
Time to trade those flip-flops for something a little more city chic.
Exactly. Our next category is all about cultural hubs with a twist. Think vibrant cities.
Where history meets modern life head-on.
Get ready for some serious art, culture, and maybe even a new language or two. We're talking cities with cobblestone streets, world-class museums.
There may be a language barrier or two just to keep things interesting.
That's part of the fun, right? All right, our first stop takes us to Valencia, Spain.
Ah, Valencia.
Sunshine, beaches, paella, and a cost of living that won't make you cry.
It's a perfect example of how remote work is changing things.
How so?
It's not just about finding a place to work anymore. It's about finding a place to live.
And Valencia definitely checks a lot of boxes.
That Mediterranean lifestyle is hard to beat, you know?
Long lunches, evening strolls, soaking up the sun.
Exactly. So you can actually enjoy your surroundings, not just see them through a window.
All right, I'm sold on the lifestyle, but what about the digital nomad scene itself?
You'll find tons of remote workers, especially in the city center.
Any good co-working spaces?
Plenty. And most cafes are basically designed for working remotely.
It's essential.
Plus, it's a super walkable city, so you can explore different neighborhoods without any hassle.
Speaking of exploring, Valencia has some amazing architecture, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
From that futuristic city of arts and sciences to the charming historic quarter.
It's like a blend of old and new.
Exactly. And don't even get me started on the food. You're in Paella's birthplace, after all.
Okay, now I'm craving paella and picturing myself working from a sunny plaza.
Sounds like a dream, right?
It does. But let's keep this virtual tour going. Next stop, Bangkok.
Bangkok is a wild ride for the senses.
In the best possible way, of course.
Of course. It's a city that never sleeps, and there's always something to see and do.
For digital nomads, it's that mix of adventure and convenience that's so appealing.
Exactly. You've got crazy fast internet, co-working spaces everywhere you turn.
And don't forget about that street food.
Oh, the street food. It's legendary for a reason.
Seriously, you could spend weeks just eating your way through Bangkok.
Don't tempt me. But speaking of tempting, let's talk cost of living.
Because I know Southeast Asia can be very affordable, but Bangkok is a big city.
You're right. It's definitely more expensive than some other places in the region.
So maybe not the best choice if you're on a super tight budget.
It depends on your lifestyle, really. You can still live comfortably if you're mindful.
Embrace the local lifestyle, right?
Exactly. Eat street food, use public transportation, and explore on foot.
That's part of the fun, immersing yourself in the local culture.
And Bangkok has culture in spades. From ancient temples to bustling night markets, there's something for everyone.
All right, time for one last stop in this category of cultural hubs, and this one's for the creatives out there.
Let's go to Berlin.
A city that's constantly evolving but never forgets its past.
It's a place where history is alive, art is everywhere you look.
And that energy is contagious, you know?
Totally. And for digital nomads, Berlin offers this awesome blend of affordability, inspiration.
And a community that really embraces individuality.
You'll find co-working spaces that feel more like art galleries.
I love that.
And there's this really collaborative spirit.
It's a place where you can be yourself and find your tribe.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the history. From the Brandenburg Gate to the East Side Gallery, Berlin has it all.
It's a living, breathing museum.
And unlike some historic cities, Berlin doesn't feel stuck in the past.
It's got that perfect balance of old and new.
What makes it so unique and exciting.
All right, I'm adding Berlin to my list for sure. But we have one more category to explore before we wrap things up.
And this one's for the nomads who like to forge their own path.
We're calling it unique paths. These destinations might not be on everyone's radar.
But that's part of what makes them so special.
They offer something a little different, something off the beaten track.
Exactly. So first up, let's head to Brussels.
Brussels. Okay, I'm intrigued. Now, I'm not going to lie, the first things that come to mind are waffles and chocolate.
Can't go wrong with those?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But there's got to be more to Brussels than just delicious treats, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Brussels is often overlooked as a digital nomad spot, but it has a lot to offer.
Like what?
Well, for one, it's incredibly well connected. It's a major transportation hub, so you can easily explore other parts of Europe.
It's a great home base for adventurers.
Exactly. And even though it's a major city, Brussels has this surprisingly relaxed vibe.
Really? I wouldn't have pictured that.
It's true. Life moves at a slower pace here. People take the time to enjoy the simple things,
Like what?
like having coffee at a sidewalk cafe or browsing a local market.
Speaking of cafes, Brussels is known for its cafe culture, right?
Oh, yeah. Cafes are like the living rooms of Brussels.
You can always find someone to chat with or just people watch.
Exactly. It's a great way to soak up the local atmosphere.
And I imagine that big expat community helps too, right?
Absolutely. Brussels has a huge international community, which is a big draw for digital nomads.
It's like a built-in support system.
Exactly. There are tons of groups and events for expats, so it's easy to meet people.
Brussels, you're full of surprises.
Uh.
All right, from the heart of Europe, let's journey to a land of misty moors and ancient castles.
Edinburgh?
Edinburgh, Scotland, it's like a city straight out of a storybook.
With good wifey, of course.
Of course. What's the digital nomad scene like there?
It's growing fast, especially in the tech and creative industries.
Makes sense with all that history and literary heritage.
It's a very inspiring city. You can explore castles, visit museums, or just hang out in a cozy pub.
Sounds like my kind of place. Okay, for our final destination, we're going somewhere completely different.
Let's go to Vietnam.
Vietnam has been on my travel list forever. It's a country of incredible natural beauty, from those rice paddies to Ha Long Bay.
And it's quickly becoming a digital nomad favorite.
And the food. We can't forget about the food. Fresh, flavorful, and so affordable.
We're making me hungry again.
Yeah.
But you're right, the food in Vietnam is amazing.
So we've got stunning scenery, delicious food, a low cost of living. What's the catch?
Well, it's still a developing country, so things don't always run as smoothly as you might be used to.
But that's part of the adventure, isn't it?
Exactly. It's about adapting to a different pace of life.
And embracing the unexpected.
Exactly. So we've explored luxurious escapes, island paradises, bustling cultural hubs, and unique adventures.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired and maybe a little overwhelmed by all the choices.
That's a good problem to have, though. The world is your oyster.
It really is. And the best part is, this is just a starting point. There are so many other amazing destinations out there.
Absolutely. The key is to find the places that speak to you.
Well said. So, listeners, where will you go next? Head over to our social media and share your dream digital nomad destination using hashtag #TheDeepDive.
We want to hear all about your travel plans.
And if you have any questions about these destinations or anything else digital nomad related, drop them in the comments below.
We'll do our best to answer them in our next deep dive.
Until then, happy travels.
See you next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Nomads Unbound. If you want more insider tips and inspiration for your digital nomad journey, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. And remember, whenever you need a proof of onward flight or a ticket reservation for applying for a visa, head over to www.itineraryticket.com. It's your ticket to hassle-free travel. Until next time, my friends, stay unbound and free.